We're here.
We are here.
So we did a poll yesterday. No. We did a poll with our last video about the bells and whistles on these videos. And,
Hi.
you know, we're getting 50-50 on here. It's kind of an annoying little poll. You know, some people will say the bells and whistles give me aha moments and they come at just the perfect time, and others say it's distracting, get it out there.
Yeah.
We can't please everybody.
Yeah.
We do what we can do.
Yeah.
Hi everybody. I was just yelling, complaining. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So how's everybody doing out there in the world of connection or disconnection, whichever is your choice at the moment? You guys getting through it?
We have 11, 12.
Yeah, 12. I still love that video. I swear I do.
What? Oh, that with the deer?
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It's not.
Pembroke deer. Yeah, no, it's funny.
No, it's not.
Good. Glad everybody's feeling some good energy. And this energy, I guess equinox is when? Friday? Fall equinox is when?
You know,
it's coming.
There's a lot of big energy today because it's fall.
Oh,
It's
hi,
autumn here in the States. It's coming on autumn, fall. And here in the States, it's also Survivor premiere night, and everybody seems to be losing their mind over that.
Mm.
We work with a lot of reality stars, so it's not that big of a deal to us. But I am a Big Brother fan. Tonight's the finale, so I'm sort of excited for that. We're not big TV watchers, but for some reason, it's a big night. I guess because it's fall and everybody's feels like they're gonna be stuck in. I don't know.
New Jersey.
It just is interesting to watch on social media. New Jersey. We've been to New Jersey.
Oh yeah, we stayed in New Jersey.
We stayed in New
We
Jersey.
took the New Jersey transit over into.
New Jersey was interesting because man, my eyes are hurting. That tunnel that went under the water to get us over there
Oh yeah.
scared the shit.
Oh, get away!
Scared the shit out of me. What's it say?
No, the fly just landed on the camera.
Oh. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting.
Okay. Hi guys.
Here we go.
I wanted to know, how did your energy body and its flow change when you guys finally got together versus when you were working on changing it on your own?
It still changes.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't it though?
Mm.
I mean, there's been a major shift in Lee lately. A major shift in Lee lately. And he's been in a very peaceful and non-combative and non-conflict space, which has been refreshing because we could have had some knockdown drag-outs the past couple of weeks. Only because my energy's been so hurried and go. It's hard to even say. Even last night, I was just like, man, I can't even sit down. And once I do, I can think of 50 things I got to do when I get up. So anyway, I can answer the question. It's just interesting how it still continues to change. The energy does.
I have come full circle in our connection.
What?
Yeah, it's really
Why
interesting.
am I yawning? It's freaking 1:00 in the afternoon.
The last
I got
3
plenty of sleep.
nights actually, for the last couple of weeks, I keep dreaming of just flying with you and kissing you and floating above the stars. And it doesn't seem to go away or go anywhere. It's like you're with me on the inside, and it feels so good. In the beginning, I had those dreams. So it's almost like I've re-entered a phase of, it's almost like I let go of any triggers I had in a deeper way because we've worked through a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we took the time with each other, even if it did seem like it was ripping us apart. I believe it was ripping apart those belief systems that needed to be ripped away or stripped away. And I just feel good being with you. Does this make any sense?
Makes perfect sense. Let me run this by you and everybody else and see if this is happening globally.
Okay.
Okay. This came to me in sort of an epiphany. Like, the gray area seems to not be as big as it was with this particular scenario, where it seems like when you and I are disconnected, right? And we're never disconnected, but when we're in a space of disconnection, right? Mm-hmm. And we are maybe not ebbing and flowing as much as we should, as much as we would like to. We're just kind of coexisting at times. Mm-hmm. Then everything around us seems to be flowing perfectly, and everything's fine, and everything seems to be falling into place, and the world around us is in a good space. Mm-hmm. When you and I get closer and the connection gets stronger and we spend more time together, everything around us seems to be crumbling apart.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people would look at that and think that that's a negative thing, but I feel like it's a positive thing, because there's a certain amount of all of that been happening for all these years, where now that we're connecting in sort of a different type of way, right? Mm-hmm. Different type of energy, that gray area is gonna go away, and then once whatever it is, and I don't want to say universe or God or whatever it is, source, whatever you call it, sees that we're managing, as long as we stay in the connection and everything else is falling apart around us isn't affecting our connection.
It's strengthening.
Right. Then things will start rebuilding around us.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So absolutely. I've noticed that the closer we get, the more things start to crumble around us. And then we don't waver from that, because I feel like so many times we have had to go through a lesson where this is going to be much better to get through together, and fighting this together, than throwing up our hands and giving up. Mm-hmm. Right. And then we will come together in agreement and bond, and then things will start rebuilding, but that we'll come back together in conflict. Right. And I don't know how many conversations that you and I have had where, look, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because we're not connecting. Mm. We're not connecting.
Yes.
On this. So it's not going to work, and it doesn't. And then, but when we're in that constant space of connection and doing things differently and breaking cycles, and things start falling down around us, it doesn't seem as detrimental. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like there's a time and a place where it's going to be like, oh, well, they figured it the hell out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. On to something else.
Yeah.
Right? I feel that. I feel that.
What I experienced is the destruction of a belief system I didn't realize that you were reflecting back to me in this connection. There was still a deep-rooted belief system that the woman I'm connected to can never love all of me and accept all of me. And of course, this, if you look at past, mm-hmm. that's what I always believed. Right. So what I ended up doing is looking at that and seeing how it has altered mm-hmm. because of our connection, because it didn't seem like it was going away.
Right.
Because ultimately that was what would trigger me. Ultimately, that's what kept allowing us to keep running into this disconnect. So those belief systems were there because of the past. They weren't there because of our present, how we are together. Right. So what I started to do is decide that, wait a minute, I have a choice. I can let things that were still fuel me myself, mm-hmm. and my connection to you.
Right.
And literally it was trying to get me to see that it was still related to too much past, related to too much chaos, related to too much disconnect. And I decided, well, wait a minute, that's not being present with you. Which sometimes when you would say to me, well, now you're triggered, or I can't tell you because you're triggered. It's like you would point at the past at me, mm-hmm. and I didn't realize why you're doing it. I thought it was something you were doing against me, not doing something for me.
Okay.
So when I started realizing, wait a minute, is she right? Is she telling me that there is something that I'm holding on to in my past that I'm fueling as a belief system and attacking you with it. And it reflected back to me, and I saw myself go, well, of course it is. And I went, whoa, wait a minute. And this happened in the beginning of the dream. And I was like, well, that's not what I've been trying to choose. I've not been trying to choose my connection to myself to be connected to you. I've been trying to choose my connection to you. But that belief system was powering behind it because I wasn't discovering that in connection to myself. So it comes down to this one simple question. Have I allowed you to love the real me that can love you? And you never reach that space in this connection. You just don't. You don't reach it. You don't even see that that's what you're trying to prove to yourself. You think the other person's trying to prove it to you. You think all of the things that are happening to you, you can't see the bigger picture unless you really want to see it. Then you want to see whether or not you have a choice in it.
Mm-hmm.
I choose me so I can choose you in this moment. Can't choose the past anymore. It's not making any sense. I can't love you in the past. I can love you now. Can't love you for all the shit we've been through. I can love you now. Can't love that you. I can't love you in the past where you didn't choose me when I wasn't choosing myself to love you now.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like it's so many layers and so deep in the layers that in this connection, we're still trying to tell each other how to move around in the dark instead of how you get to the light. The light would signify that you can see choice. You can choose to be upset with the person you're connected to right here now, or don't.
Right.
Accept their choices to accept yourself. Accept yourself to accept the choices. It's almost like you don't even see that that is a way of choice when it comes to acceptance.
My neck's hurting.
I'm sorry. But, I'll make some kisses later to make up for that. So hopefully, your connection is going to reflect back to you, your connection to yourself. Do you allow that to happen?
Man.
In this connection,
that's a big thing because, I think we all struggle with that. I know I have, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to live up to what you feel your twin expects of you.
Oh,
right?
Expects.
Yes. What you feel your twin feels. Right?
Yes.
That's big.
How about this one?
I can't come downstairs. My hair's a mess. I can't wear this. This don't look right. He'll totally notice that this doesn't match.
Where's all that come from?
Like my face is a mess. I can't come down there like this. So many things.
A majority of the time, do you put that energy on me or on yourself?
Oh, you.
Right. So let me ask you this. I want to ask you this one thing that I discovered. Does your connection to yourself need me to be a part of it? No. It's kind of a yes and no, right?
Well, wait a minute. It does, because if you weren't there, the situation wouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. But no, the answer is no, right?
Yeah.
But the answer is yes, because if you weren't there, there wouldn't be a situation. I would just be me.
Yes.
Right? That's
right.
just it.
Yeah.
Then you can just be who you are.
Right.
Without fear of judgment or rejection
But the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection are in me, not you. They're in you, not me.
Right.
So what happens is if we're not talking about those fears, we're actually, and love this word here, manifesting what we fear and what we judge. So when we manifest that, we're already in the reaction of it, and we actually cause this to happen.
This is true.
This is the only reason separation happens. It's that deep rooted. And all it takes is the power of suggestion to manifest it.
I started yawning and I can't quit. And I'm not sleeping.
So let's get to more questions here. So hopefully that answered your question about the energy body. How do you learn to trust your twin flame when you feel deep down they've done you wrong and they deny it?
went through this a couple months ago, didn't we?
Yes.
Recently, we're not gonna lie. Look, we're real. We're gonna tell you. We had it out a couple months ago over this. And look, I'm gonna give you kind of my answer, and then Leo give you his answer.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's different because it's not different. Coming from an abusive situation, sexual abuse when I was younger, there's obviously symptoms that come with that. So control issues definitely come with that, right? Also, I'm a real stickler. I'm on loyalty and what you say. What you say is really important, right? And if you say something, you mean it. If something comes out of your mouth, that's what you mean, right? If you say you're going to do something, if it comes out of your mouth, then do it. I'm just that way. I'm sure that it's not perfected, but it was instilled in me as a child, and it probably should be, that cycle should be broken. But nevertheless, so even if it's 10 or 15 years ago, if there's a promise that's been made to me, right? And that promise is broken, right? It affects me. Like you said you would never, and you did.
Right.
Now my trust is gone. There was an incident just last week with a family member who come in and thank God we're an open book and we don't care. We just put our shit out on YouTube. But she wanted to come in with 40 or 50 people here and just tell family secrets, right? And man, was my trust wavered with her, because now I have, I obviously know things, right, that I will never divulge because I gave her my word, right? I've lost trust in that, right? And where you and I were concerned when we were having our conflict, I lost trust in what you were saying to me because you went back and did something you said you wasn't going to do, and then I held on to that maybe for a lot longer than I should have, right? But it kept festering and kept festering and kept festering. And then even something as simple, guys, it can be as simple as I'm going to do the laundry. Okay, cool. That gets totally off of me. Now I don't have to worry about the laundry. So the next day I go in and the laundry's half done, or some's in the washer, some's in the dryer. I don't have any clothes. It could be something as simple as that. You said you were going to do the laundry. When you say you do something, do it and follow through and finish it, right? That was a big thing. So now if Lee comes up to me and says, I'm going to do the laundry, I don't trust that, right? I'm using this as an example. If you said you were going to do the laundry, I trust you would, and I trust you will later. But but I'm using it as an example. That trust would be wavered, right? So even something as little as that and broken trust is big, right? Because I want to be able to. We all want to be able to believe what our twins are saying, what our friends are saying, what our family's saying. We want to be able to trust in that. And when there's a wavering, even a little bit, it throws us into fear.
Yes.
It throws us into fear.
So that was a good way to explain trust. How do you learn to trust your twin flame? How do you learn to trust the love you give? How do you learn to trust the love you give?
To yourself, too.
To yourself or to anyone else. If you know how to not trust the love that you give, you know how not to trust the love of your twin flame. It's the same thing. And it will be proven to you time and time again until you see it in the depth of what that actually feels like. The love that you give, do you trust it? The love that you receive, do you trust letting yourself receive? I'm glad we had a moment of silence there because I want that to sink in. If you are looking at the person you're connected to and saying you don't trust them, are you trusting what you give them? Are you trusting how you show them? Are you trusting how you show up for yourself? Are you trusting the love that you give from yourself? What should that feel like will be how you give it to yourself. If you don't give it to yourself, but yet you're in love with this other person, which are you putting first? Because you're going to be on the receiving end of the love you're giving if you trust the love you give. Does this resonate somehow? If it resonates with you and you're stuck, email us. We got you. We can point you back to where you can look inside to figure out where this is coming from, not just in the connection, but out of the connection as well. So hopefully that answers the question. Yes, I feel like my TF is considering leaving his 30-year marriage. I'm getting to a place where I'm content and happy without him. Confused by this. Any advice? Well, you actually told us what exactly is happening there. You finally reached a place where you're content and happy without. Happy without him means that you were sitting there waiting for him while you weren't happy. How's he supposed to know that home is in that space? In other words, were you creating the happiness without him in the first place? It's not a confusion. It's actually pointing to what you should do instead. So create happiness. Happiness is a self-creation. It's not an energy that you actually get from another person. You can be inspired by another person, but you can't actually go and expect somebody else to be responsible for your happiness. It makes them miserable. It makes you miserable watching them be miserable. So continue, but don't be confused. Realize that you're creating a home in happiness, and that happiness is something you can share, not something you expect them to be responsible for. Hopefully that helped your answer. Do you have anything to add? Okay.
That was good.
Let's see. What are your thoughts on John Gray's theory about men being like rubber bands and needing space and alone time in order to increase their testosterone levels and get closer to their love again? I actually kind of went through that.
Did you?
Yeah. Number one, I said I need to get out and do things that I like.
John Gray's do it on own, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's the pastor that's from actually up the. Remember, he's from downtown. He's from our area.
He's from our area.
Yeah.
Okay.
He my brother actually saw him. Remember, he went and saw him. What is our thoughts on John Gray's theory about men?
I think he did go through that. We were like, look, we're together all the time. We are together all the time. And while that sounds lovely to some of you people, try being in a room with your twin flame for 24 hours. It's not a bad deal, but sometimes it's a lot. It is. We got to the point where we're like, look, we need hobbies. We don't want to become codependent on each other.
And that's what can happen.
That's what can happen. So in order to not become codependent on each other's presence, right, we had decided to just find hobbies, do some things separate from one another. And you've done that with the car show. And I
we're opposites.
Been going to the car. I went to the car show. When was it? Sunday?
Yeah, once.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I was cool being there with Lee, right? I was cool. We weren't prepared. You didn't prepare me. You could have brought a chair. But anyway, but yeah, that's something that he likes to do. He likes to go look at cars. A car is a car to me. It gets me from point A to point B. There are things that I love to do that you don't necessarily like to do. And that's cool. I think that's cool. I do. I don't know what the theory is about, but I don't know about needing alone time in order to increase their testosterone levels and get closer to their love again. I don't know.
I believe
maybe it's a self connection.
I understand what it's pointing to. I can be with Sherry now and actually be in that energy and connection myself and not make her responsible for it. So in other words, I don't need my alone time actually is a time that I actually have, and I'm okay with being seen and what that means. So there is a space there. I understand what you're saying, but I'm also pointing to, can't you just do that anywhere? It doesn't matter who's around you. Be inside yourself and raise yourself up in your own vibration, in your own frequency, without actually having to make everything outer have to fade away, because that's going to signify that you need a space by yourself to connect to yourself instead of being able to share it with others. So I understand it, have done it, have experienced it, have told myself I needed it. But then I also realized that that's like telling a tree that it needs to go and be separate from all other trees before it can actually grow the direction it wants to. I hope that makes sense. I'm a tree that doesn't need that. I mean, I can stand around the tree that I'm connected to and do that anyway. So hopefully that answers your question. Hi, Lee and Sherry, new subscriber here. Love from France. Hello, France. France is awesome. Why does some TF come together and most not? Where did you see that?
Well, it's also a self-connection thing. It's hard to show somebody the unconditional love if you don't show it to yourself.
You did that one.
Yeah. That's that. I mean, I'm going to say that that's the main reason why the twins aren't coming together, is because there's a lot of self-connection issues.
And we actually, I mean, the discovery we've seen from doing root camps, we do root camps for twin flames that are kind of specific for that actually help them see that there are some things in connection that show up in this connection that actually try to repeat or will actually need to repeat, so you can make a different choice. You just don't see them that way.
Right.
Okay. Ola from Minnesota. Hey, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I wish my DM is as matured as Lee.
He was on the floor playing with Hot Wheels 10 minutes ago.
Yes, you're kind of right. This is great. Thanks for pointing that out. I think that helped me lead things. It is so easy to forget that. Yeah, me too. Months of separation. Wish he wanted fun and communication. Usually it's a sorry, been busy. This time feels different. How are you communicating the fun and communication? Are you accepting the separation as a way of connection? I know that's a strange question, but it does have a point. What is the best way to find yourself again? How are you currently listening to anything on the inside? How do you currently listen to your inner voice? How do you currently experience your inner voice? How does your inner voice get impacted by external conditions, external experiences, external people who love you? And what is the inner voice in there? That would be the first place to start, is listening to your inner voice with no reaction. Once it becomes a reaction, it's ego.
And root camp. Root camp will help.
They got that all day.
Throwing that in there.
Hello.
That was a shameless plug. But root camp is life changing. Don't get it twisted. It will change your life.
How do you recommend starting the conversation with my masculine? I've been focusing on me not waiting for him, but he's come back. Also, I'm feeling not interested in romance. Trust him?
Nope. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You can't trust him if you don't trust yourself.
What is trust to your masculine?
Trust your masculine self.
Okay. Well,
there's that voice inside of you that says he's genuine or he's not.
Man.
You know. I don't know.
How do you show up genuine if you don't trust?
Right. Ooh.
How do you show up genuine if you don't trust? And the trust is not outside of you. How do you trust? How do you show up genuine if you don't trust yourself? I mean, how do you take off that mask? Why each time I try to forget my twin, he goes to my dreams. Before he denies this connection, but now he was just quiet when I'm telling him what I'm going through. The silence is an amazing thing. He's actually giving you a gift. Is what you're experiencing in your dreams, in your reality, you're actually rejected. So what's happening in your dreams actually is taking over and saying, this is what I really want. But then your reality, you're actually rejecting. Have you learned to accept what your current reality is so everything changes? Because I'm really at the point where I just need to be away from everyone, I feel so lost and confused, trying to find myself. It's like I can't even hear my own inner voice anymore.
Yeah, get with us for a 30-minute
Yes.
free 30-minute consultation.
Yes. We'd love
Yeah,
to do
email that. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you. info@relationshipreinvented.com. No, yeah. Complimentary 30-minute session for anybody here who wants one. If you have one, you don't get another one. But yeah, if you haven't had one, then get with us on a 30-minute. Let's talk.
Yes. If there is no response for some time, does that mean you have to let go until they choose to reach out?
Man, that was a long 2 years, but I didn't realize it.
Do you realize you're in waiting? And how do you feel about waiting?
I waited for 2 years, but I didn't wait.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay. It's hard to make sense of this because you're connected to time. You're not connected to them.
Yeah.
You're connected to waiting. You're not connected to them. You're connected to this space as though I'm going to stand still until you come back and get me. And they literally can't find you because they don't understand your space of waiting. Does that make sense?
We hear all the time, what's meant to be will always find a way. If you love someone, set them free. If they come back, it was meant to be. If they don't, then it wasn't. Type of shit, right? When you left, well, the circumstances were crazy because we were neither one of us could wait to get you out the door. I mean, I really could have teleported you out of there without even being dressed. Just, you got to go now. It felt like that. But nevertheless, you were gone. You were gone for 2 years. We had no contact. I knew one day you would come back. I just didn't know when. But I did not put my life on hold.
Yeah.
Maybe for 6 months I didn't put my life on hold, but for 6 months you were there.
Yeah.
You were there. I did some crying. I did some research. I did some stalking. I did some crying. I did some yelling, right? But while I was doing those things, I was still doing other things too. You know what I mean? I was still having, flings and things like that. And then I realized I didn't want to do all that. I was just ready to settle down. I was getting too old to be running around and dating and trying to find the right guy. And he said Pacific instead of specific, and he had his hair combed to the left and not to the right, and it all boiled down to they weren't you. That's what they all boiled. I found a black guy named Lee. That's what I did. A black guy named Lee. We went out on a date. I kept my eyes closed. It didn't work. It didn't work. It was crazy.
Let me say something about this because I wanted to hear this.
The hell.
So
kind of mess.
It was interesting because recently we had somebody come to us and they said, well, I've been waiting for my twin. It's been 2 years. And we said, okay, now knowing that you're coming to us and you're making that your first statement, they're not coming back, right? Because what you're really saying is you're going to make them pay for you sitting still for 2 years, and you're telling yourself that they did this to you, not you did this to you. It's really quite interesting because you don't see that this is created from a belief system you've already had. They felt it, they experienced it, and then they went, well, wait a minute, there's a part of you that you won't let them close to you. If you don't stop.
Turn Siri off.
I'm listening.
Technology.
She said, I'm listening.
I know. Mm-hmm. Go away.
Okay.
You guys explain that.
That was easy.
I didn't even say that.
She answers you.
So I think that was the message here. Don't sit in waiting and point at the other person. I mean, I get it. But have you ever been in love while being connected to yourself? That is the question. Have you ever been in love while being connected to yourself?
Ooh, that's big.
And if you're in waiting, are you in love with yourself while being with someone? Are you seeing it? I mean, this is layered. And I promise you, as you keep digging in this space, you're going to find something magnificent.
Oh my God.
Yes, because we need the bells and whistles. That was actually our session. All right. We love you guys. We would love to answer all of your questions. As Sherry said, if you join this thread and you need 30 minutes with us, hit us up. Let's get you in. Let's talk.
Yeah. Root camp.
Root camp.
Man,
Root camp.
it's life changing.
info@relationshipreinvented.com. Let's see. Last one. Just
Yeah,
interested in if you both found.
We've still got 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Just interested in if you both found if your individual wound issues were all interdependent. And when you were in healing those issues, did the other feel the mirror issues come up? I needed Sherry to activate without knowing I needed her to. She needed to activate all kinds of things in me for me to see what belief system was being powered. Most of us are in our head, which doesn't have anything to do with our senses.
Mm-hmm.
Our senses get triggered over the stuff that we say to ourselves. If you're in this connection, you're going to feel that in a way that you'd never experienced it before, and it's more painful. And the choice is you either stop the pain or go into the pain to find out what's on the inside of it. They're not interdependent. You actually do have a source of pain that you were born from, and that source of pain you've been running from because you were taught to. This connection has come to show you that you shouldn't run from something that is you. On the inside of the pain and everything in it, you've cut off and made stories about yourself. Those stories are not you any more than the pain itself. It's the creative energy of thought and what it's trying to tell you about the pain. Are you listening to that or are you choosing the pain? The pain doesn't need a story. So why would you? Okay. Which one? My twin admits we both had the soul recognition. When we seen each other for the first time, something clicked. How was soul recognition for you two? Ooh, we still get it. Right? Ooh, we had it just
yeah. Let's answer the question.
Okay. I'm trying. You can't see the answer.
Yeah.
I hope you can feel it at least. I mean, share that with us at least. I mean, I believe it's the merge of essence.
That's it.
The merge of essence is the way it feels.
Yeah.
And then it's like from that merge of essence, you feel so free and you feel so, I mean, there's no judgment in it. And then all of a sudden, at some point, the judgment shows back up and it starts to attack. But at some point, it's like this space of feeling like you are the universe and the universe is you.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question. I mean, I don't know if that's the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I don't think there's any more. If we missed it, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We're
Do you guys dream of each other even during separation?
Yeah.
A
lot more intense even in separation, I think.
Fear likes to invade you in separation. And then your connection to fear actually becomes stronger because of the separation, which you don't see as disconnecting you from it.
And in separation, it's interesting, depending on the separation and how and what happened. You know what I mean? We've been through many separations, and some of them felt helpless. There were some separations where there was actual planning of a permanent separation. Like, okay, we've come to this conclusion and we clearly are not able to function with being a 5D experience in a 3D world. We're having major issues doing that. So, when those separations happen, then the mind goes on with, okay, how am I going to go on? What are my plans? Where do I go? I go from here.
Right.
And the I statements don't feel right. They don't. It almost like you're speaking the opposite of how you feel, right? Like this shouldn't have gone down this way. This shouldn't have happened this way. This was my part in it, and man, do I see it now. But now that we've got here, where are you in the separation, when it gets to the point of we got to go in separate ways, right? Then the dreams become more vivid. It's like the universe says, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're allowing your mind to take over, and now you're making plans to move on and do other things. And this isn't this isn't what you're here to do.
Right.
So if you need to take that detour, the universe is going to let you, right? Take that detour. You're still going to end up back at the same destination, in my opinion.
It's
But
almost,
yes, the dreams are more vivid in separation. They're there. The longer the separation, the dreams diminish a little bit.
mm-hmm.
The longer the separation, the obsession diminishes a little bit. But the connection never goes away.
I guess my question is, are you experiencing in your dreams, the dreams are trying to ask you, is this connection or attachment?
Mm.
And what is the difference to you? Again, the question is this connection or attachment? And then if there is, you didn't get your expectations met, what were your expectations? And did it point to connection or attachment? I hope that opens up a door for you to walk through. Is it true you are a TF if you have no idea what a TF is? I have been in this dynamic unknowingly 2 years. No idea what a TF was until I saw your channel looking into soulmate connections 2 months ago.
Okay, let's do this. Let's reword this. Let me see if this helps. Is it true you are connected if you have no idea what connection is? I've been in the dynamic unknowingly 2 years. No idea what connection was until I saw you looking into a soulmate connection 2 months ago.
Perfect.
Throw twin flame out the window
Yes.
at this point.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Read your question. That's perfect. Read the question, take TF and replace it with connection.
Yes.
TF and connection, same thing. Depth is deep. It is deep. There's no changing it. But yes, oh my God, that was beautiful. It was brilliant. Brilliant and beautiful at the same time.
Her PSA was, I love me, and that's the best PSA we've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Public service announcements, I love me, right there. That's awesome.
That gives us permission to love you too.
Yes, that does. Is there anything there?
No,
So, okay.
It's Judge
We do have a session we have to get to. We do love these questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for following us. Look, we're just us.
Yeah.
We just do what we're supposed to do and follow mission. If you would like some personal time with us, we do root camp.
Yes.
Root camp is
No, you didn't get here too late. You're
not
always
too
on time.
Root camp is very, very deep, and it's going to show you the connection you do or you do not have with yourself. And it's going to teach you how to build that connection with yourself, which leads you to the one you're connected to. It's a process, and it's an interesting process. Root camp is life-changing. Get with us on root camp. We'll get you on our personal schedule.
We're doing retreats.
We are doing retreats.
Root camp is like the mirror.
Yes.
It's going to be right here. That's what we're utilizing for that.
We are
this weekend.
Actually have a retreat this weekend. It's not too late.
Nope.
As long as you fly into Ohio.
Or if you're in driving distance.
You fly into Cincinnati and or Dayton. We're in between both of them.
Yes.
We will get you from the airport. Your lodging and your food is all taken care of. Your lodging would be right here with us. And believe me, it's a life-changing experience. We are also doing another retreat on the 8th of November, the 9th of November, and the 10th of November. Same retreat. So that's a 2-night retreat as well.
And we're in Chicago.
And then we're coming to Aurora, Illinois.
Aurora. Okay.
In November the 15th, 16th, and 17th, we're doing a workshop there. That'll be interesting. We also are still doing our coaching certification program. If you're interested in, you can look up the Transforming Compass Coaching. And if you'd like to do what we do, we would be more than happy to
get you down that
path. This is what we do. If you have a twin or someone you're connected to that you would like to do it with, like Lee and I do, that's even better. Get a hold of us. And if you have a twin that you know you want to do this with, but they're not quite ready, let's get you started and get you prepped. And we can bring that person in later. That's fine. We're doing Patreon.
Oh, Patreon Pillow Talk tomorrow
Pillow
night.
Talk tomorrow night. We get in the bed in our jammies, and tomorrow night
We did a really deep one last week.
we did a really deep one. We're actually, I think we're going to continue that talk. We're going to talk about sexual abuse, and we're going to talk about how
Abuse
it affects intimacy
and connection.
Yeah. It was a real interesting conversation we had last week on Pillow Talk. Get comfortable. We get comfortable, and then we get into bed. We get all comfortable. All we got to do is close the computer and
Go to bed.
go to sleep. Well, go to bed.
Yeah.
There it is. We do love you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys all so much for
Your support means everything.
For your
Your subscribing to this channel means everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that you're getting information here or getting something here that actually is something that grows on the inside of you in this connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's vital for this connection to flourish. But the connection starts with you first. We love you guys. Find us soon. And email us if you need us. Connect at relationship or info
at relationship or connect at relationship.
Yeah, either one.
Invented.com.
Connect is important too.
That's right.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.